Hey everyone, I finally tried building in the fantasy style I've been wanting to explore for a while, and here's what I came up with. Today, we're building this traveler's house. Now obviously, a traveler needs a way to get around. Walking everywhere in a fantasy world just doesn't cut it. So, this house includes a tall tower for docking air balloons. And of course there's a balloon ready to carry our traveler across the skies. If you like this building style, make sure to leave a like. Alright, let's get started. You can see the full list of required materials on screen. And yep, this includes everything for the interior too. First, we're going to start by outlining the roof. Yeah, I know it's not the most typical way to begin a build, but hey, it's a fantasy house, and the roof will actually serve as a sort of frame for the whole structure, so it totally makes sense. Place 4 blocks. On top of the last one, add an upside down stair. On that stair, place 2 more blocks. Then a stair and 1 block. Then 2 blocks again. Another 2. 1 block. Then 2. Another 2. 3. And again 3 more. Perfect. We've reached the peak of the roof. Now it's time to bring it back down 3 blocks. Two. Another 2. Then 1. Now instead of bringing the roof all the way back to the ground, we're going to shift it a bit to the side. Place 2 blocks. Then 2 more. 3. 4 blocks and a slab. Awesome, the outline of the roof is basically done. Just repeat the exact same pattern on the other side. Add 14 more slabs across so the full width of the roof is 15 blocks. Then mirror the entire shape. Now connect the roof peaks together. Replace the very bottom block with an upside down stair and use that to join both roof sides. This little detail adds to the rounded look of the roof. Next, go to the right corner and place a 5 block high wooden pillar, leaving 1 block of space between the pillar and the edge of the roof outline. Nice, the basic frame is done. But before we start building the roof itself, we'll mark out the tower. You'll see why later. In the center between the pillars, place 3 temporary blocks. Then in the 4th spot, add a line of 3 more blocks. Remove the temporary blocks and shape the layout like this. This is where the tower will connect with the airship. Replace the corners with wood and raise them about 8 to 10 blocks up. This way you'll know exactly where the tower is while working on the roof. You can remove the lower layout now. Just leave the top parts, and optionally, you can add a center pillar, not required, but I'm going to add it. Now it's finally time to start working on the roof. First, we're going to fill it in completely using orange concrete. And this is exactly why I marked out the tower earlier. It makes it easier to build the roof with the opening already in place, instead of cutting it out later. I don't know about you, but I definitely find this approach more convenient. Once the whole thing is filled in, we can move on to texturing. I'm not gonna speed this part up, so anyone like me who finds texturing tricky can follow along step by step. We'll start with stripped acacia wood, placing it randomly around the corners of the roof and near the tower. This block looks a bit darker and more worn thanks to its wooden texture, which makes it perfect for showing some light weathering. Next, we'll add some acacia planks. I usually place them next to the stripped wood, then along the edges of the roof. These planks have a much bolder, rougher texture, so be careful not to overdo it. Use sparingly, they help emphasize the parts of the roof that are most exposed to time and weather. And finally, we'll use orange terracotta. It's a bit darker than the concrete and has a softer texture, which helps make the transitions between materials smoother. This block is also great for adding subtle variation to the surface without standing out too much, just what we need to finish the texture's pass. That's it. I'm definitely not a texturing expert, but honestly, this looks pretty nice and I like it. And of course, we're going to texture the roof outline too, group some trapdoors, buttons and slabs, and just start placing them randomly to create a bit of unevenness. To me, the top of the roof looks a little too flat, so let's fix that. Just follow along with me. Yeah, I think this works. Much better. Alright, let's continue texturing the roof outline. Done. Now it's time to fill in the walls using calcite blocks. Inside the tower, we're going to create a smooth transition between the roof and the walls using wooden stairs and slabs like this. Next, we'll even out the height of the support beams. The lower ones should end 3 blocks above the roof, and the taller ones just 1 block above it. Then raise up all the beams and the tower itself by 9 blocks. The walls are in place, now it's time to texture them too. But first, let's mark out openings for windows and doors. Look at where the center of the roof is, the very top point, and right underneath it, 1 block above the ground, break a 3 block wide line. Add a 1 block corner, and another line of 3 blocks. It should look like this. Now, count 2 blocks from the corner column and make a doorway that's 4 blocks tall and 3 blocks wide. On the back, add the same round window as in the front. And let's add a couple more windows, each 2 by 3 blocks in size. Just like the door, they're placed 2 blocks from the corner column, with a 1 block gap between them. That's all the layout for windows and doors. Now let's move on to texturing. Start by placing some andesite at random, no higher than 3 blocks up from the ground. It has a pretty rough worn look, which makes it perfect for showing how the lower part of the wall has been weathered by moisture and the weight of the house. Next, grab some diorite. This block helps to transition from andesite to calcite, and you can also use it on the corners or where the walls meet the roof. It's not as bold, but it still adds a nice touch of wear and tear. To me, this is turning out just amazing. I think it totally deserves your like. And we'll do the same thing in the tower walls. We've finished texturing the walls. If you've made it this far, you're doing an awesome job, and you're clearly very determined. Because that part was pretty tough, it's going to get a bit easier from here on out. Now we need to make the window and door frames and also add some other small exterior details. Let's start with this big round window. Place the upside down stairs like this and connect them using stripped wood and fences. We'll do the corners the same way, with stairs and fences. And just go all the way around the window like that. Nothing complicated. Good. Now add slabs to the top and bottom of the inside part of the frame. You can also use trapdoors here. Fill it in with purple stained glass blocks. And divide the window down the middle. Yeah, that's exactly what we need. The door frame is even easier. Place 3 stairs and 3 blocks for the door. Then place the door itself and use trapdoors to fill in the space around it. That's our door frame done. Perfect. Now, to keep the wall from looking too empty, and to help everything feel like one connected structure, we're going to add a couple of beams that look like they support everything. Let's add a few more small details near the columns. Just follow along with me. And we'll build this window the same way as the previous one. Now let's move on to the tower. We'll expand the top part a bit using stairs. Then add some details for extra texture. Place 3 stone walls on both the top and bottom sides of each wooden column, and connect them with a wooden fence. Right in the center, place small platforms for lanterns. Next, we'll continue expanding the top section using slabs like this. Then fill the floor with wooden planks. We're making a partial railing. Place stone fences every other block. Fill the hubs between them with wooden fences. And then place trapdoors on top. Now I want to add some kind of landmark so the balloon pilots know where to fly in. We'll do that using smoke from a campfire. To make the smoke thicker and rise higher, place a hay bale first, then put the campfire on top of it and surround it with stairs and fences. Add lanterns to the fences. Technically the house is finished, but it's definitely missing some smaller decorations, like leaves, flowers, vines, and so on. I'm going to add that detailing now. You can either decorate your way, or just follow along with me while some nice music plays. Beautiful. I hope yours turned out great too. And in the next video, we'll build the balloon and decorate the interior of this house, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. You can also support this growing channel on Patreon. And that's it for today. Good luck and see you next time.